All right, fine. We'll do it again. We're going to take a look at your videos right here on the channel, and we're going to give you some tips and tricks as to how to keep people from clicking off of those videos once they click into them. I said we because I am not alone today. We have Jeff here. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for being here today. And Jeff and I are going to be taking a look at your videos. So before we get into it, the way this works is very simple. If you're watching this live, there are two forms down below. There's two forms if you're not watching it live, but they won't work because you had to be here live. Two forms down below. Fill out the appropriate one for gaming channels, one for non-gaming channels, and we are going to be randomly selecting those channels throughout the day. We already have a couple pre-selected, so we're going to jump right into this with our first channel. Now, we picked the channels that managed to submit first on the forums, and the first person who managed to submit on the non-gaming form was the Roblox Dev. They have 123 subscribers, and it's the non-gaming form, and I allowed it because, one, it's an interesting channel to me, but two, it's a non-gaming channel in the sense that it's more about creating games rather than the culture of playing games and doing let's plays and things like that. So the strategies we would normally give gaming channels don't necessarily apply here. So we'll also check out a channel that is a non-gaming channel. Because we're going to basically see two gaming channels back to back, Jeff, I went ahead and picked yet another channel that had nothing to do with games at all. So we'll get a good variety here at the beginning.
For sure.
So we're going to take a look at these videos. On Tuesdays, we look at thumbnails and titles. We're going to look at the actual video now. Let me know if you can't hear it, Jeff. I think you can. And we are going to look at maybe like the first 30 seconds or so, and then stop the video and kind of give our thoughts and talk about maybe ways in which it could be improved. We're looking at a title and a thumbnail. This is how you can make a game tutorial in Roblox Studio. So they're teaching you how to make a tutorial where if someone downloads your game, they get guided through the game. They know what they're doing when they get in there. And so the thumbnail, the title, is this click gonna pay off as soon as the video starts?
In today's Roblox tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make a tutorial GUI that when you press the next button, it will go through all of the pages and eventually bring you back to the first one. You can also press the previous button to go back through some pages. Our first step to making this tutorial GUI is by creating a frame. Let's do that. Here we go. The first bit is done, and if you're having troubles getting your frame to show, make sure that you have a screen GUI element inserted first.
So that's 30 seconds. I would say they got into that pretty quick, Jeff. Bit of a branded intro, but not really. It wasn't their channel name that popped up. It was like just the intro to the video. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so far pretty good. I mean, this for me feels like evergreen content. So obviously they're teaching us how to do something, and it feels like that's exactly what we're going to get out of it. He got to the point fairly quickly. Even the sort of kind of branded intro, it didn't really bug me much.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm hearing myself echoing. Maybe it's because of the screen share.
Yeah, sorry about that. That happens sometimes. We will reshare the screen. Now, what we mean by branded intro, when you hear us say branded intro, just to clarify for anyone who hasn't come to these in the past, a branded intro, in our definition, is when the video kind of stops after the hook, and it's a thing with text on the screen and music. So the host has kind of disappeared for a second, and it's one of these. Now, we're saying this one is not offensive to us because rather than you putting the Roblox Dev in lights and flashing on the screen, you put this like intro card restating the title a little bit. So you had a hook.
I wonder if it does the same thing for each chapter of the tutorial. Almost like a video essay where it'll like say, okay, now we're moving to the next part. Maybe, I don't know if that's it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but maybe that's what's going on.
I'm not seeing any more, but yeah, they could in theory do that.
Yeah.
And we've seen plenty of channels do that too.
Like video essay style, right?
Yeah. This was acceptable to me. It wasn't very long. We typically tell people just not to use them because it helps. It kind of helps kill your retention, right? Like it's that reminder of like, technically the video hasn't started yet. So if you were wanting to click off still, if you're not sure, this is an invitation to do that. That's my very cynical view on these. So this was fine. Here's where the first problem cropped up for me. I'll play it again. It's right here.
Frame. Let's do that.
But back a little more.
Is by creating a frame. Let's do that. Here we go.
I don't know if this tutorial is not for me because I've never used Roblox Studio before. Like maybe there's an assumption that anyone watching this tutorial has a little bit of experience with Roblox Studio, but think about me. I have zero expertise with this studio. I don't know how to do anything. So when I see this box pop up, it just kind of fades in and you're like, there we go. It's kind of like that thing in cooking shows where they have the finished thing in the oven and they just put it on the table, like, but they skipped all the steps to making it, right? So I don't know how to do this, and I'm worried that in your pursuit to make a really short snappy tutorial, you skipped really important steps. So when it comes to tutorial and education videos, I would encourage people to make them as long as they need to be. This might have been a rare case where you actually edited out too much, and it would have been good to like show us the steps to get this box. It's actually not just one box, it's two boxes. It's this big blue box and then the box that says tutorial, right? And I think that matters. I think that's a big deal because I don't know how to do this. Now, it might just be built into Roblox. Maybe you're like, well, dude, all you got to do is click the tutorial box button, obviously, but you didn't show us that either. So it just kind of fades in. And then you do seem to go in here. Like if we watch for a little bit longer, you talk about having trouble getting it.
Getting your frame to show, make sure they have a screen GUI element inserted first inside a Start UI. Our next step.
So maybe that was it. You know, it sounds like maybe that was the part where you kind of skipped it, and then maybe you realized you skipped it, and you're like, so, oh, by the way, if you're having trouble getting this box to show up. But it almost, when you say the words, if you're having trouble with, it makes it sound like a troubleshooting thing, not like this box should be even easier than I made it look. But if you're having trouble, here's what you do about it.
Yeah, I think they should have included that for sure, because sometimes, and I think one thing we have to remember whenever we're doing tutorial content is always keep this in mind. Explain it to me like I'm 5, right? The stuff that seems obvious to you because you've been doing it so long, you've been teaching people so long, may not be obvious to the very first person watching your channel. And you always have to treat every single video not like the viewer has watched all of your previous tutorials. We tend to fall into that trap. Don't do that. Remember that, you know, for most channels, now most, not all, but most channels, most of their views are not coming from subscribers who've seen you before. They're coming from new people. So make those videos with that in mind and don't skip those steps. As obvious as that might seem to you, I wouldn't know. I would be like, how do I do what now? So at step 1, I would already be lost. And this happened before. I've actually called it out on people's tutorial videos. Like, hey, dude, you skipped this. And thankfully, somebody in the comments showed me what needed to be done because they also noticed that you skipped it. So that's a big, big thing that you can't miss, especially on a tutorial, because it breaks the whole flow if you skip a step, especially at the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah, if you skip that step and people get the 30 seconds into your video realizing that it's not a complete tutorial, they might click off, and we definitely want to avoid that happening. The other thing, the only other improvement I was gonna say, because I feel like the audio's good, I feel like the edits were good. The only other thing I would say is that when you start to point to things on your screen, like this stuff is super small, and a lot of people are watching on mobile and all kinds of stuff. So you should do what a lot of people do, and that's use your editing software to zoom in on the things that you want people to notice. It's extra work to do that over and over again, but that's what separates like a good tutorial from a great tutorial. You know, we have a ton of examples on YouTube. If you just go and look for how to do anything with software on YouTube, you'll see what I mean. The biggest creators have always done this, where they highlight things and they zoom in on things. They want to make sure, because you point your cursor at it, but look how small that cursor is. You know, it's really easy. Like you're making it difficult for people to like miss it, right? Like you're making it easy for people to miss it because they have to follow your cursor around. They have to find where it is, and your computer, you know where it is, but they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Punching in is a very, very simple editing technique, and it's actually super, super helpful. So even if it just breaks up the visual, but when you're showing somebody something, especially on a tight screen, like when you navigate over to the side menu, you should be punching in there so that we can see clearly what you're clicking on. So it's little stuff, little tweaks that are going to make this so much better for the viewer. And it's all about making that experience for the viewer a lot better.
Yeah. So those are, I think, our initial tips. And I think if you can do those things, we don't even need to look at the rest of the video. This is going to be like a ripple effect across your content. I think you're going to notice way better retention. So yeah, and it looks like you're already getting people who are finding your tutorials helpful. They're subscribing to your channel. So you're doing good work here. 4 days ago, 50 views for 123 subs. Like all that's really good. So yeah, we just want to see you get better and better and better at what you do. And I wouldn't say you need to redo this video or anything like that. I think you just continue with your upload schedule as you were doing. But when you get to a point where you feel like maybe it's time to update this tutorial, maybe it's just you've learned more, maybe Roblox Game Studio has updated, keep these things in mind and keep them in mind for your next tutorial. Okay, cool. That was the first, believe it or not, non-gaming channel. So we're going to go to the first gaming channel that's submitted. Now, this channel said that they did memes and things like that. So we have it pulled up here. And also, by the way, I should mention, I added to the form. So this was our Roblox dev channel. And we've now asked if you have any specific questions or something you would like us to know about your channel and or videos. And the channel just looked up at thumbnails, video titles, editing quality. How could I edit my videos in a way that increases my watch time? So that we did answer that question for them. We feel like the tutorial, X, Y, and Z, and that'll help you with your watch time because people will stick around. All they said about the gaming channel was that they make memes. So cool. We'll check out the latest one. Forgive us. This content, I don't know about you, Jeff. I don't feel like I'm ever the target demographic when it comes to gaming meme content.
No, not really. I mean, it's just not my thing, and that's fair because it's a different demographic. You know what I mean? Just completely different demographic. So there is gaming content that I watch that I like about games that I'm into from creators who play in the same type of style that I play in. So that makes sense. I'm the target audience for those types of channels. But I've seen even for that exact game, people who do meme stuff, and it's like, it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah. So, all right, let's check out the latest one.
Now entering King's Row.
Lad, are you dumb? Are you getting rude to man? What? That's what you get, fam.
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has died.
So I don't really know what to say about the edits here. This is one of those times where we look at this and go, I think you should go to other channels, but who are you modeling this after? It's always somebody. There's always a channel that when you think of funny gaming memes, what channel comes to mind? I would wonder what kind of context that they give at the beginning of their videos. That's what was missing for me. Whenever I click on a video and I have to think really, really hard about what I'm looking at right now, that's when I start to get distracted by that video and I'm not following the story. The story started instantly, which is fine, but without I didn't get the context of a proper title. I didn't really understand what was going on. And by the time I realized what was going on, the video had already moved past that point, and now something else is happening. And I feel like it's just taking a really long time to get to that point. Like the video, the punchlines are not landing, nothing's paying off. And again, I'm not the target audience for this content. So of course I'm going to be confused by it. But, how are your comments doing? How are the likes to dislikes doing? What's the data telling you? And are there channels that you're modeling this after that are up here, like where you want to be? And maybe I would be focusing on, really studying their videos and figuring out how could I improve my quality?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's one of the things where those first 30 seconds I was confused. I know what game I'm looking at, but then we have an InfoWars background, and then there's you got like an English or type of guard kind of guy taking shots, and I'm like, what? I'm sure there's probably somebody that this makes sense to, but I was completely confused because I don't even know what I'm getting out of this video at all. There's absolutely no context. So that's the only thing. And it could be just like Dan said, that maybe we're just not the right, the right target audience. But even then, I honestly just didn't understand it. To me, it just kind of felt really, really confusing. Like there was no story being told.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of these titles and thumbnails you've done in the past, like basically Junkrat, the video got over 1,000 views. For your size, that's great. There's some stuff that works, some stuff that doesn't. And just to put my channel auditing hat on for a second, I would say that you have a lot of data based on your successes on this channel, like the videos that did well. Try and learn from those. Once you've been studying other creators too, right? In live streams like this one, once you figure out ways in which you can improve your content, study what's already worked and not worked on your channel to make decisions about what videos you're going to make next. Those are our tips.
Yep.
now I want to take a look at basically what was the second channel to submit on the non-gaming forum, because we kind of select back-to-back 2 gaming channels, sort of. So I wanted to look at Eureka. They are making health videos, they said. And I want to double check on the non-gaming forum their note here, health tips. Do you have any tips on thumbnails? So this is a video review stream, so we're not super focused on thumbnails today. More focused on what your content itself looks like. But just at a glance, I would say these are not bad thumbnails. Certainly. I again would encourage you to look at the competition, see what they're doing. But let's look at them in the context of, does the click pay off? So the title is Stop Drinking Energy Drinks. Here are 7 reasons why energy drinks are bad for you. And then it says still drinking this, and you got Monster and Red Bull, and what I presume is you or a stock image of somebody looking pretty worried about it. This title and thumbnail may not be the most intriguing ever, but I think they tie together really well and they get the point across. I know what the video is about, Jeff.
Yeah, the channel just give me faceless vibes, but let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm worried about robot voice because for a split second there I thought I heard some robot voice. So we might be critiquing you on something you did not want to be critiqued on today.
7 reasons why energy drinks are bad for you.
No, okay, it's not a robot voice. That's good. I heard like a split second. I'm like, is that the... No, it's not. You're good.
Yes, energy drinks are very bad for you. People of all ages consume them because they are intended to boost your energy, alertness, and concentration, which is why energy drinks continue to grow in popularity. However, several scientific evidences have pointed out that energy drinks are harmful to your health. Here are some reasons why you need to cut back on those dangerously addictive beverages. 1.
Well, I've not seen a health channel do this before. This is kind of interesting. So I'm going to say something kind of harsh, but I feel like what you've made is 10% more engaging than a PowerPoint presentation. Do you feel like I'm being really harsh there, Jeff? Jeff froze. I lost Jeff.
No, I'm here.
Okay, all right.
I think I did freeze for a second, though.
Okay. Did you hear what I asked?
No.
Okay, so I said I feel like what was made here was a video that is about 10% more engaging than a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, essentially. And I think the approach, because this is the first 30 seconds, and only at second 28 did we hear 1, right, where they're going to start this listicle. If it's a listicle, I need you to start with number 1 at second number 1.
Yeah.
So hit me with the first one, and then give me a quick spiel on why, and then we can move on to the rest. But hook me in. Give me a reason to watch, because the lack of energy in this beginning portion of the video, I wouldn't have stayed past 15 seconds. That's just me being personal, and it may sound messed up, but it's just a little too slow, a little too low energy, and sometimes that takes time to develop. To not saying make it exciting, not saying being over the top, but you do have to turn up your personality to sell that hook, to get me to be like, all right, cool, let's see what he's going to teach me. Let's see why I shouldn't be drinking these energy drinks. And you have to give me that reason, but it was just the vibe was too low. Like, it didn't kind of match for me. So that could be something you need to work on. Just that takes time, though. That's something, assuming this is the creator, assuming this is their actual voice, they didn't hire a narrator or something like that, it just takes a little bit of time to develop that.
Yeah. So those are the harshest criticisms I have for this video. Overall, I would say the title and the thumbnail, the click is paying off. Like, I'm getting what I expected to get, but I feel like in the beginning of your video, like, you're just kind of validating it too much. If that's a thing you can do, I don't know if that makes sense or not, Jeff, but I just feel like they said in the first frame, they repeated basically what amounts to the title of the video in the intro. But I saw this already. Like, I clicked on the video because of this title. So I don't need this. So this is already a couple seconds cut off the top of your video if you get rid of it. And then the other thing you're doing is energy drinks are very bad for you. But I know this too, because in the title, again, you said that. Like, your point is already something that I'm expecting. Like, your perspective is something I'm coming into this video expecting. You are the expert. I want to learn from you. And you're saying the energy drinks are bad. You don't have to validate that again. I clicked on the video already. So you have me. You got me. So we want you to cut that out of your video too. just get straight in there. So I would say your video at worst should start here. People of all ages consume them because they're intended to boost your, instead of them, it's people of all ages consume energy drinks because they're intended to boost energy, alertness, and concentration. So this is where the video can start. And then speaking of just how I was reading that, when Jeff was saying you sound kind of low energy, ironically enough, that I agree. And I think I would have read it like this. People of all ages consume energy drinks because they're intended to boost your energy, alertness, and concentration, which is why energy drinks continue to get purchased every single day. However, and then I would start to get into those points right away. So this is your hook right here. And I think you can read it with a little more like gusto and then start to get into, all of those points that you're about to make in the video. So let's see if we go here, like several scientific, evidences have pointed out, blah, 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 blah. Like, I know you're going to get there. Like, cite your sources throughout these points. We can get rid of this slide as well. And then here's the reasons to cut back. Take this out as well. Like, get out of PowerPoint presentation mode is my biggest criticism of this channel. And I think if you do that, you're going to notice your watch time skyrocket, because I think what's happening in your best case scenario is people are probably skipping the first 30 seconds of your very short video. And that's not great. You definitely want a stronger hook than that. I don't know if you have anything to add there, Jeff.
No. I mean, I completely agree, man. That's one of the things, and it's funny. Somebody in the chat was saying they need an energy drink before they start recording. But yeah, no, I completely agree, man. It's just one of the ways where they can kind of speed this up, make it a little bit more snappier, give me a little more energy. But yeah, I think there's definitely some room for improvement here for sure. And they don't have a ton of videos on their channel, so I would assume that they're on the newer side of being a content creator. And that just kind of takes time. So it's something you develop over time, and hopefully they will continue to do it. Because I know the way I sounded in my first videos is very different from the way that I sound now. So it just takes time.
Yeah, this is a really strong start. Like we've seen a lot of channels that are only a couple weeks into their journey, and they look nothing like this. So I would say you, like, my perception of you is that you've probably started a YouTube channel before, or you've been studying a lot leading up to the start of this channel, and it's really encouraging stuff. I just think that the topics you're covering they're pretty broad from the topic perspective. If we were just going to, again, channel out mode for a second, kind of broad topics, but that's not a terrible thing. Topics I've definitely heard of, like, the 10 ways to regrow hair naturally, stop drinking energy drinks. These are things to just kind of apply to everybody. So nothing wrong with that. I just think your titles and stuff, your strategies could be a little more interesting, both in the thumbnail and the title. There could be more energy in these titles and thumbnails as well. And you've kind of almost doubled up on titles for the video we were looking at. Yes, YouTube, I know what ambient mode is. Stop drinking energy drinks. Here are 7 reasons why energy drinks are bad for you.
Double title.
Yes. I challenge you to never use the same word twice in your title, unless it says a word like the or something like that. You already said energy drinks in your title. You don't need to say it again. Shorter title is better. So stop drinking energy drinks. Here's 7 reasons why. You don't even really need here's. You can literally do stop saying energy drinks - 7 reasons why. Or flip it. 7 reasons why you should never drink this. And your thumbnail has an energy drink in it. Now you don't even put energy drink in the title and it still works. So play with your titles even more and try and shorten them to as descriptive and as short as possible at the same time. Find that balance between descriptive and short titles. This title is double the length it needs to be, though.
Yeah, this is why I always challenge people to keep their titles under 50 characters. If you can keep it under 40, wow, okay, cool. But if you can keep it under 50, that's the way you want to roll. Some people are like, oh, well, there's 80 characters. You should use all 80. No, you shouldn't. I should be able to understand your title instantaneously. I shouldn't have to read a super long sentence and then think about what it says.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad we got to show this channel, because I feel like this is a great example of a channel that is focused on something, and just hopefully can take some of the advice we've said and like apply it. But everybody here, I hope you can apply some of this advice to your own videos. I hope you have your channels pulled up on a second screen. I hope you're looking at this channel and yours and seeing if there's anything that you could do. Could your titles be a little bit shorter? Do your intros tend to repeat themselves? Do you have unnecessary intro screens that just repeat the title in a way that is kind of redundant. Like, that's the types of things that we're doing here. So if you don't get your channel selected in this next section of the live stream, we're going to pick randomly now. Just know there's a lot of value here, and I do hope that you're taking notes. Otherwise, our friend the Claw might come after you. And it might not come after you for reasons you want. You might not, if we're picking channels that aren't paying attention, you don't want that.
Yep.
We got our someone on staff who loves it when that happens and rips them apart from limb.
That's right.
Okay, so the way this section works is there are two forms down below: a gaming form, a non-gaming form. Be sure to select the correct one and fill it out, and let us know. Also, the new section. If you have any specific questions that you want us to answer or things you want us to know about your videos, put it in there. And then we're going to pick it out. So I'm looking right now. We got 320 responses on one, 340 on the other. This is why we have a gaming form separate, because it's pretty neck and neck here. So I'm just going to put the Claw up to 350 to cover everybody. And we're going to start by picking number 291 on the non-gaming form. And that is a running channel. They said, I'm 13. Am I old enough to be eligible for monetization? Thanks. I think you might need a parent or guardian to sign the contracts and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. I clicked
Plus,
the wrong.
they gotta the payments and stuff and all that have to be sent, somewhere to a bank account. It's probably going to be somebody like your parents or somebody like that. So,
yeah. In theory, you could get monetized, but there is that to consider. YouTube has help docs as well, so be sure to go check those out. Don't just take our word for it. So it looks like they're just a shorts channel, and they are doing videos about professional runners. So I was wondering if they were like tracking their own times or something like that, but these look like big stadium events with professional runners. So kind of curious to see what one of your shorts looks like. Let's look at this one. As 3.5K views. And I did not put the volume up. My apologies. Let me refresh that.
Seen it, count money.
Well, we can't play that music, so never mind. So just pretend there's music playing. It already looped. Top 3 100-meter runners of all time. Okay. All right. So we have the runner and the time, and then loops back around.
Nice. I mean, it's to the point. It's giving me exactly what it's supposed to do. Sonic the Hedgehog thrown in there for fun. I like that. And obviously, I'm not familiar with that exact song, but obviously that's going to hopefully work in your favor for it. But so far, that one's actually working pretty good. So it got to the point. Even if, let's say, we didn't get a chance to even read the title, but top 3 runners of all time, it serves exactly what, it meets the expectation that I had when I first saw that title. So works for me, man.
Yeah. The only thing I would have done differently is taken this text right here that we're looking at and put it up in the middle. I know it covers Sonic, but Sonic isn't really relevant to the video anyway. It's just kind of something you did for fun, right? I didn't see it until the second time around, the text. So for a second, I thought I was just watching someone take part of a Sonic movie and put it in YouTube Shorts. I know it's like a weird, simple thing, but my eyes were just not drawn to it. I was looking at Sonic, so I was distracted. So that's just when it comes to shorts, you only have a couple seconds to like get people in to the short to make them watch the whole thing. And this was something that I think if I was scrolling through the short shelf, I would have swiped away from it because I missed the title card. I don't know about you, Jeff. I didn't see the text at first, though. I just completely was looking at Sonic. I didn't read it.
Yeah, completely. So it probably could have done without it, if anything. But so far, I mean, overall, pretty good.
Yeah. This is how short should be overall, though. I think like as short as they need to be, they should give you something interesting, funny, cool, something worth sharing. And I think if you're interested in running and you're paying attention to all this stuff and you know the best runners and you know their times and you have a lot to share, this is a cool way to do it. I think because you're also using footage that obviously like is captured from like TV cameras and stuff. It's not like you're going out and getting this footage, but I think you're using it in a way that is transformative enough where you'd probably be okay. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know, but I don't think you've copyright wise, I don't think you have much to worry about there. And you're just, you know, giving a few facts and then letting people move on with their day, which is cool. So this is a really positive thing. And some shorts are going to do better than others. You might have just uploaded these for all I know, so they haven't quite taken off yet. But I would continue playing around with what's working and what's not, just taking a look like which shorts are really, you know, doing well. When one gets 88 views, I kind of wonder, like, it's, you know, these guys are like holding a trophy. So I'm like, oh, is this not really about running like these are? Maybe there's not a lot of action in this short. Like, yeah, but maybe it's just the fact that like, okay, so for example, you have two teams here. Maybe you've niched down too much when you think about it like this. Like maybe there's only so many fans of these two teams, and so when people see these designators for the NCAA titles, they're just kind of like, I don't really care. There's, you know, probably a lot of different teams out there, and you're not going to captivate the interest of those fans if they don't follow them.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be too niche. It just depends. It could be, you know, or the timeliness of it. That could be the other problem.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to be careful with it. But you know, it's always going to be experimentation when it comes to shorts. You know, that's really what it comes down to. So I would say just keep going, looking, you know, follow Dan's advice, look at what's working and what isn't, try to double down on it. Don't be afraid to double up on some of those titles, not as in using two titles, but as in if it's a title that's worked for you before, don't be afraid to use it again. But yeah, so that's mostly what I'm thinking on this one.
Mm-hmm. If you can cover race events that are happening when they're happening, I think those are going to be the times where your channel blows up the most. You know, it's great to like give fun facts and stuff, but hitting the stuff when the trend is at its peak or about to hit its peak, that's like the ideal. That's where I think your channel will experience some seasonality, and that's okay. Like there'll be times where this content's more popular. So if there are tournaments going on, if there's the Olympics, if there's something going on, that's when you want to make sure that you're covering this as much as possible. And then you got to figure out what to do in the meantime. And I think you have that strategy down. I think covering, you know, interesting facts, you know, from these events is a good start. I think that's really cool. So cool. We got to see a shorts channel. So we are at the first half-hour mark of the stream, and we have plenty more channels to look at. But before we do, we have some super chats coming in, and I just want to hit these real quick. RD Travel Blog, Jeff, by the way, thank you for grabbing these in the background. Sent in a super sticker. Reslo, or let's see, Resolvr. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing that. I have over 8,000 watch hours, but I can't hit 1,000 subs. Any advice? Ooh, that would really that would make me sore. What do you think? 8,000 watch hours.
I guess it just depends on what they're doing. But, you know, if they're doing, you know, regular videos, live streams, whatever it might be, it could be a time where you can step in and do a call to action where I normally don't say it, but you can do it. It can be done. If done properly in the first third of your video, you can tell people like, hey, man, I'm on that road to 1,000 subs. If you haven't subbed already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Keep it really, really simple. You know what I mean? So however you want to play it, that's something that you can do, but just do it quickly, easily, but do it after you deliver some sort of value, right? Like, hey, if you like what I've been talking about so far in this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, something like that, and then just keep going. Don't draw it out. Keep it less than 15 seconds if you can, and then just keep it moving.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say is you might want to look at your analytics. We're not going to pull up the channel right now or anything, but you might want to look at your analytics. Are you looking at your new and returning viewers enough to know if you're catering to only returning viewers, or are you catering to new viewers as well? And the way to do that, I'll show you real quick. This is an analytic everyone should know anyway. What you do is you go into your analytics, right? When you're in your dashboard, click on, I believe it's under audience. And this is the new and returning viewers chart. A lot of you are here and you want more subscribers, right? Well, we have 1.3 million subscribers. And I can tell you that right now, this is the number that matters. What we actually have are 402,000 returning viewers, people who are actively coming back to our channel. To me, this number means so much more than our subscriber count.
Yep.
This is the one you're paying attention to. In the past 28 days, we've had this many people return to our channel, people who watched our videos and said, I like those, and came back, whether they subscribed or not. This is awesome. But I want you to look at this. And you can look at this on a per video basis too, but it really matters like what the whole channel's doing, right? If the purple line is constantly above the blue line, that means you have more returning viewers than new. And if the blue line is above the purple, that's the opposite. Now you're getting new viewers, but you're not attracting them. You're not getting them to stay. What you want is what we have here, not to brag, but you want this line crisscrossing over and over and over again indefinitely. What this means is we are constantly bringing in new viewers and they return. The line is just constantly leapfrogging over itself. That is the key. This is what you want. You want it to look like, I've always said, kind of like a weird DNA strand, you know? It's just constantly crossing over itself. YouTube gives you a chart guide here. If you ever forget this, it tells you basically what it looks like to have mostly viewers who are returning and mostly viewers who are new. Now, for this question, the reason I'm bringing this up is because you're asking, like, I have a lot of hours. People are watching my content, but why aren't I getting subscribers? It could be because your graph looks like the top one. You are getting way too many returning viewers and you're not pulling in enough new viewers. And you want to do both. So it's just going to be figuring out your strategy. How can you do that? Maybe you're playing a really niche VR game that isn't growing in popularity. And so you're kind of stuck, right? Maybe it's time to pick a similar game, but one that's more popular in the space. Those are the questions I'd be asking myself. So something that everyone should learn is this chart and what it means.
Yep.
And quit worrying about subscribers. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's the same thing that comes up in every single stream, and people are so dead set focused on subscriber growth and getting to 1,000. You should be focusing on making the best videos possible to get as many views as possible, because making good content and getting views is what gives you a chance to gain subscribers. We're putting the cart before the horse. You want subs before views. That's not how this works.
I thought you were going to keep talking, so I took a sip.
No, it's all good. That was it.
The Game Dad, thank you for the super chat. We are not selling reviews via super chat. We do appreciate it, but we don't want to put a financial barrier on these. But we are happy to answer a couple questions throughout the stream via super chats. So thank you so much. We have Perry Unlikely, $4.99 there. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. Rock the Toys, the $1.99 there. Thank you so much. Professor Kai, wanting to be checked out. A lot of people are. We look at the forums real quick. We see that already we have approaching 1,000 channels just waiting to get picked at random. So do be sure you're taking notes. There's going to be a lot of value here today, whether or not your channel gets on the screen. Just remember that. And then we'll answer one more. We have even more, and we're going to get to those. But I'm going to do this one, and then we're going to get to the next channel. Dweeby asks, who will be the next Mr. Beast? What form of content is the next viral hit? We saw Mr. Beast take over PewDiePie, but he needed millions of dollars to do it. Not a bad point. What do you think?
I'm not sure, because the thing with him being gaining as much as he has is because of how broad appealing the content is. Mm-hmm. So it isn't like he's niched into one type of thing, even though it may seem like it, but it's very broad appeal. So that's the thing. The next person to be like that, I don't know, to be honest. Can another person achieve that? I would say yes, but I don't think it's going to be for a while, to be completely honest. So what that content might be, I'm not sure. Not sure.
I don't know who it would be. I would be looking at creators who have made a buzz, like Ryan Trahan, for example, with the Penny series. Like, oh my gosh, you know, just what a cool, original yet simple idea. I think someone like them will he be the next Mr. Beast? I don't know about that. I don't know if anyone could be the next Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast overtook PewDiePie, but does that mean he's the next PewDiePie? Two totally different creators. So it's like define the next Mr. Beast. Do you mean the most subscribed to channel, or do you mean a channel that's going to do something similar but different? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess if you're just talking about who's going to be the next most impressive creator ever, I would put my money on someone like Ryan Trahan or Ryan Trahan himself. But that's just the first other name that comes to mind because of how impressive that Penny series was. Like, genius. Did you watch it?
I did not.
Oh, you should go back.
That's just me, though. It's just I just watch different types of content.
Yeah,
so that's
super.
all.
It's not the kind of content I would normally watch, but it was super addictive. Once I got into it, I could not put it down. I was behind on it. I ended up watching half of the series in one day because I was halfway through, like his, it was on like day 15 or whatever when I finally picked it up, and I watched all of them in one sitting because it was just that addictive.
Nice.
So, all right, that was Runners Prod. That was our last channel we just looked at. We're going to look at a gaming channel now, and thank you all for your submissions and your questions, your super chats. We're going to get to those in a little bit, but we need to pick a gaming channel. We are up to 382, which means we need to update the claw to cover maybe up to like 400 at this point because we're getting up there. And we have 233 on the gaming forum. If you've been waiting to get your channel picked, this is how it works. These are your odds. They're not great, and that's why we encourage you to take notes. The people, Jeff, you could attest to this, the people who treat this almost as if it's like a live class happening and they're taking notes and they're paying attention. Those are the channels that we find later on tend to grow really fast.
Yep. Yeah, the people that are too busy complaining in the chat are the ones that are not paying attention and taking notes the way that they should be. And just to be clear, before I worked for vidIQ, I used to sit in these live streams. Like, I was a moderator before I became an employee, but even before that, I used to just sit in these streams and take notes, even if they weren't looking at my channel. I would always take notes. Like, what could I be doing better? What am I doing wrong? Whatever they were pointing out that I see, okay, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Then I'd go back home, because I would watch these streams while I was at work. I would go back home and I would make those changes to my channel, or I would take those notes and apply them to the next video. And that's the kind of stuff where, and this is a huge shout out to all the lurkers and all the people who aren't in the live chat, or all the people who watch on replay, the ones who watch in the background and are actually taking notes. Huge appreciation to all of you, because it definitely helps to do that. There's little nuggets here and there that you'll pick up, and you'll always learn stuff. Like, I'm still, and this is something that I'll take with me forever, I'm a student for life. I think Dan's the same way. We're constantly learning. Doesn't matter how much success you see on YouTube, you can always learn something new because it's an ever evolving platform. So you have to keep that mindset. You always have to be willing to learn. Otherwise, you're going to stagnate. So you have to keep evolving.
Yeah. YouTube ebbs and flows as well. I mean, earlier this year I had, or maybe it was last year, I had a really big run not that long ago on YouTube where no video I uploaded would get less than like 20,000 views. Like, this was my personal channel. Just when I was like experimenting on, and then it slowed down to a crawl. Like, and it's just the peaks and troughs of YouTube. It's even people who feel like, you look at it and you're like, oh, those people seem to really get YouTube. Even we have to go back to the drawing board a lot and go, okay, what's changed? Why is this different? And we always learn even more, which is why I love doing these streams, because we like passing that on to you guys. So,
for sure,
the Lion Games. It does seem like their videos are not going to be in English, so we'll do our very best here, but this is a video review stream, so we're going to focus on the content. I think what we're going to be looking for is really sharp edits here. We don't know what the video is called, so we don't know if the click is paying off for the audience, but let's just try and look past that and see the quality of the edits. So we're about 8 seconds in. I would normally wait till the first 30 seconds to pause it, maybe 20 or so, but there's already one crucial flaw in this creator's content. It is their audio. Their microphone isn't terrible. It's a combination of a microphone not being great, but then also the music is way too loud, and we cannot hear you anymore.
Yeah, the audio levels are not where they should be.
Yeah, we already, like, I'm not going to understand the content because I don't speak that language, and I wish I could. I wish I could advise even further, but it's okay because, like, I can't, like, the first thing you need to be worried about is balancing your audio. The music can kick up kind of loud in the beginning if you're not talking, and then like go back down so people can hear it and they get some context for it. That's like one strategy you can use. Ultimately, though, if you're talking, I have to hear you over that music or else I'm going to click off.
Yeah, I think a thing that can help greatly here, and I know this could, it sounds like a youngster, sounds like a kid, but one thing that could greatly help is getting a budget lavalier mic. Just a really budget one. Like, this is how I started on YouTube, right? I grew my channel like this to 20,000 subscribers with just a phone, a $20 light, and a $20 lavalier mic from Amazon. $20 lavalier. I think it's called like Pop Lav or there's another one too. I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head that everybody uses. Boya. So Boya is the other one. Both of them. They're $20 on Amazon. So if your phone doesn't have a headphone jack, you can use a small little dongle. Costs like $5. But that'll really take your audio up a notch. Believe you me, it'll take it up a notch. It won't sound like this, but you'll sound a lot better than that. So it's one of those things where you can improve the audio that way, but also, like Dan said, adjust those audio levels down. The music, whatever level you have it at, you got to turn it down. You got to turn it down. You have to listen to your video with headphones on before you publish it and be like, can I hear myself? Can I really hear myself, or is this music too loud? Right? Background music should be in the background, not up front. So it's called background music.
So that's going to be a huge game changer for your content, because people are going to click on these videos and they're going to click off and they're never going to subscribe. You got 9 views on this a day ago. It's a Bed Wars video. It's a pretty popular topic in the Minecraft space. You've been doing this for a bit. I'd be disappointed with that performance, and I would want to see, I would want to see more. But sometimes 9 viewers is all YouTube needs to know before it's like, oh wow, those people aren't responding to this. Especially if these are your returning viewers. If you got people who are subscribed to you, or people who tend to come back a lot and they're clicking off, that's a really bad sign. YouTube doesn't say this stuff outright. This is just how I would presume their algorithm probably works. It's looking for all kinds of signals, layers and layers of signals, and so that's going to be one for sure. So there is that. How's the quality? Is that just me? 720 is the max. I'd say, I would strive in the future to get yourself up to 1080 if you can. It's kind of the new standard, and you can kind of see how kind of fuzzy this looks. Now that could be another investment. That could be you having to get a whole new computer or something. So I'd worry about the microphone first, let your channel grow, maybe get monetized before you kind of treat yourself to something like that. Put it on your Christmas list, whatever it is. But if you were looking for those incremental improvements, those bits of advices for me, I would say I would love to see this get to 1080 at some point. I think that's gonna be really important. And then the last thing before we move on is going to be, what do we say? We covered audio. Oh, the video goes for about 10 seconds or so, and nothing happens. And I know you're kind of introducing the video right here. You could already be moving around and like getting things ready though. A lot of Minecraft channels make this mistake. They stand in front of the camera and they talk. But if you look at the big channels that do this, they'll stand in front of the camera and they'll walk and talk.
Yep.
They're already moving around their world. They're in position. They're going to get to the place that they want to go, and the video already feels like it started. Whereas this feels like, when does the video actually start? And it looks like it starts about 10 seconds in, where we get in first person view and you're actually now playing Bed Wars. Did you do that?
Did I? If I did, I did it by accident. That's weird.
There are hotkeys now.
Oh, that could be what it is. Sorry.
Did you press Shift 2 by chance?
Possibly. Yes.
Anyway, so those are my tips for you. Without being able to understand what you're saying, I do feel like we still gave you some advice that you can kind of jump on. Something you can improve in immediate future is the microphone. Something you can do in the near to long term future is your video quality.
Yeah, audio is really going to be important, though. That's one of the reasons why we went so heavy on it, because audio quality is, I would say arguably, but by pretty much most creators that I talk to, and that's a lot, we value audio a lot more. We have to be able to hear you. Even if I can't see you clearly, I'm willing to tolerate a crappy looking video, but crappy audio, nah, I'm clicking away. So you can have the most perfect video quality, but if your mic and I can't hear you, understand you, sounds muffled, sounds terrible, there's hissing going on, I'm going to click off. Mm-hmm. So that's the key. So that's why it's one of the least expensive investments that you can make in your content that will improve your overall value and ability to retain a viewer. It's you can't put a number on it. It's like the best $20 you can spend. So,
and by the way, lavalier mic, when we say that, that's like a clip-on microphone.
Yeah, little wired one that you just clip on.
Yeah. All right, non-gaming channel next, 55 on the form here, 55. And let's check out movie edits. They just want honest input. They want to make the channel as good as they can. All right. So they're doing movie edits. We've seen channels like this. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. I always have concerns about channels like this because of like copyright and things like that. You're taking very popular media that is not yours and using it in a different way. Is it transformative enough to fall into fair use? Not for us to say. But it's not a position you want to be in where you're having to defend that. So, that's just blanket statement there. We'll do our best. it's always, I struggle with these two. It's really hard to discern what edits you made to the content versus what edits were already in the content. You know what I mean? If we're watching clips of Iron Man, what was done by Marvel Studios and what changes did you make to it? And it's hard for us to advise there. A lot of times this has music too that we can't play on stream, and I'm sensing that's probably going to be a thing. Maybe. This could be epidemic. Let me just see if they say in the description. It took me 4 months to fine-tune and clip this together. Oh my goodness. Song credit Warriors by Legends, by League of Legends.
There was an idea
As a child, you would wait
to bring together
and watch
a group of remarkable people.
So it's kind of a reimagination of like an Avengers trailer. Is what I think we're looking at here. So in terms of video quality, I don't have any advice. I think, Jeff. I think it's of a high standard for the types of edits, especially we've seen on this channel in the past. Not this particular channel. I mean on vidIQ. So when it comes to growing an audience here, yeah, it does come down to channel audit mode, and I think what you've done is managed 2 weeks ago to get a video that's up to 1.6K views. It's their first really big breakout video. Are you always going to be doing Marvel content now? Is that really the thing that's going to help you take off? Or was this of a particular high quality? Maybe the thumbnail was really resonating with people. Maybe once people clicked in, they were just so mesmerized by it, they couldn't click off. But I think my advice, Jeff, is just going to be, I think they should look at their data. I think that's going to advise better than I can at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And it's one of the things where the focus is what I like. They obviously split off into Star Wars a little bit there with the Anakin one. Could be the same viewers, probably not. But still, it would be one of those things where I like the focus of it, but I don't have a problem with the edit because it's obviously this feels more like a showcase of what their skills are, which is completely fine. Like if you want to have a channel to be like your portfolio, then that's completely fine. There's no problem with that at all. It may not necessarily gain you a ton of subscribers though, just to be completely clear. If it's just showcasing your skills, basing it around a target viewer is a good move. Like all of them being like Marvel edits, that's smart because it's going to attract Marvel fans. If they liked one because your next one's about Marvel and the one before that was about Marvel, they could binge watch a lot of your Marvel content. So that makes a lot of sense. That's a smart play. But I guess it just depends on what the goals for the channel are, is really what it comes down to. Because to me, this actually feels like they're showcasing their editing skills more than anything else. But I'm not sure. I can't say that with 100% certainty.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to monetize this content. And that really does kind of change the perspective now. Like, what's the goal of the channel if not to monetize the content? Because I don't think you're going to be allowed to. It's just there's too much here that is not yours. And it's fine. There's plenty of artistry in this still that is yours, but it's still using way too much of someone else's work. And that's what's going to cause copyright issues. So just keep that in mind. Be prepared for that harsh reality if you're not already. The other thing we can say, because I really feel like to give this channel any advice, we have to be in channel audit mode here, which means we're not looking at the videos themselves now. You have a video with 1.6K views, but it's been 2 weeks since you've uploaded. And I think that this may be the moment for you. This video right here might be the thing you needed to put your channel more on the map. And I feel like you should follow it up as soon as you can. And I do feel like it should remain Marvel focused. And it should also, I think you should be trying to focus on edits for movies that are more current. And I know that's difficult. Like it's, the footage for the new Black Panther movie until it comes out like on Disney Plus, it's going to be kind of hard to get your hands on, but maybe you could do other Black Panther edits leading up to that. And, that's what I'd be thinking about. The stuff, what's current right now, what's the next Marvel show, and how can you start preparing for that? And I would say the same thing to a Marvel movie review kind of channel as well, like, or a Marvel, like someone giving their opinion about Marvel shows and things like that. You got to be on the cutting edge there. You need to be looking at stuff that's coming out soon. You need to be looking at stuff that's already out and trying to capitalize on that popularity. But all right, cool. For an edits channel, This is really strong. We've seen a lot of people submit edit channels, and a lot of times it doesn't look like it doesn't look like they've put this much effort into them. Like I think you've kind of this is like the next level to me in terms of a channel taking other people's content and like remixing it. So pretty cool stuff. All right. Next up is a gaming channel. We'll ask the Claw to select one. And number 6. All right. By the way, what did they say? Okay, so the last gaming channel we saw, the Minecraft Let's Play channel, Lion Games, they said their viewers say they deserve more support, and they wanted to know what they were doing wrong. So I do think we delivered on that, but
yeah,
I
for
didn't
sure.
read that the last time. I feel like my TNs need work, also quality of video.
Thumbnails?
They might have meant thumbnails.
Yeah.
Not sure what else TNs would mean. The King Omega. All right. Without going into channel audit mode too much, I would agree. I think these thumbnails could be better. I think you're like doing Pokemon thumbnails like this. There's plenty of examples out there. You don't necessarily need to put yourself in them. I think the Pokemon can kind of sell the video.
Yep.
The text is small. There's red text. It makes it really hard to read. And overall, they just seem kind of fuzzy. There's just like a certain quality missing there.
I would say I agree with that too. Small text is not helping at all. You have to remember where views are coming from. A lot of these views are going to come from mobile, so that's going to be really, really difficult to read. Secondly, these titles are really long. I'm going to challenge you to keep your titles under 50 characters. Use one title, not two. I don't need a sentence and then another sentence. Don't do that. And even like the second video, my daughter takes on first gym, exclamation, Pokemon, hardcore randomized ... It's like, bro, chill. just chill. You don't need to keep putting the same stuff over. Just give me the title, keep it simple, and let the video do the talking.
Yeah. I do want to zoom back out in a second for channel audit on this one because there's a really good lesson I think here for everybody, but we'll get back to that. I hope I don't forget.
What's up, Omega?
So we're going to look at the quality of your actual videos now. It's 34 minutes. I have a feeling I'm going to advise that these be shorter. Even without watching it, I just feel like 34 minutes for a Let's Play is it's pushing it quite a bit. But that's just first impressions. And the only reason I'm telling you that before watching the video is because everyone can see that timestamp. And so it might hinder them from clicking on the video if they look at the commitment they have to make to watch it.
Yep.
What's up, Omega Gang? It's the King Omega, and today we are back with another episode of our Pokemon Y Hardcore Randomized Omega Lock. In the last episode, we did catch another encounter, and we did take on Viola, the Santaloon City Gym, and we did beat her. So before we get to the rest of that, if you all would like to join the OGs, the Omega Gang, please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on post notifications for me. That way you'll know whenever we drop another video, and let's get on to it. So we need a quick team recap. I'm also about to drop PokeLink in the not this video.
So we're 30 seconds in. I'll say right off the bat, I like this person's personality. I feel like they have good energy, and I like the way they kind of look at the lens and they address the audience. So yeah, that's all working pretty well for me. I think what you've arranged on the screen here, because we're looking at a 3DS game, so there's a second screen because it's a 3DS, and that you have it captured up in the corner there, and this screen
Or the next one probably, but the one
where's nothing coming up on it. There we go. Like this screen is easy to read. It's nice and big. Like for a 3DS, I think the image quality is really good, which is awesome.
Yeah. I would say my issue with it is the call to action. It's too that's one thing where, although the call to action itself is too long, and secondly, you're giving me a call to action before you've actually given me any sort of value or entertainment value for that matter in this video. Ideally, in a perfect world, including the call to action at the very beginning would be the best, because that's when you have a maximum number of people. But you haven't given me a reason to subscribe. You really haven't. So, and then telling people to turn on the notification bell, stuff like that. Here's one of the things that I'll tell you is that the amount of people that will actually watch a video based on a notification is such a small percentage of your overall views. Once we got that metric in YouTube analytics, I stopped telling people. I stopped because it was 1 to 3%. That is negligible. And the amount of time I was wasting in telling people to hit that notification bell and do all this and do all that, it was a waste of time. I was wasting the viewer's time. So at this point, what I would say is I would probably remove this call to action from this point in the video. I would probably keep it somewhere in the first third, but deliver first. Deliver. I'm like, hey, and if you're liking my journey here with Pokemon, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then just keep going. Just keep it simple. But yeah, the call to action at the very beginning, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, it was rather long. So definitely a second that advice. I would put in the middle somewhere, and I would do it cheekily. I love to do a subscribe call to action in a way that's funny, that people can like laugh at a little bit. Remember, one thing you could do is like if you get a really clutch like catch, right? You try and catch a Pokemon and it works. You could say like, "Come on, if that catch wasn't worth subscribing for, what will be?" And move on with the video. So it's just a really small subscribe call to action, and it's you being kind of sarcastic, kind of playing with it a little bit. So I think that's a much better way to ask than the alternative, which was like stopping everything you're doing and saying, by the way, you should subscribe and you should hit the notification bell and you shouldn't miss videos like this. And it's just a list. You're just kind of like going down the list. And so that was 30 seconds. It took us 30 seconds for the video to actually start, and that's not where we want to be. So those would be, I think, our very initial tips here. The other thing you did is just like the Minecraft channel did earlier, your game is just kind of paused right now. It's not technically paused, but it is kind of paused because you're just standing in the middle of a Pokemon Center, and I'm just watching you kind of talk, but I came to watch the gameplay. So when you're saying things like in the last episode, which is fine, you want to give people context for that last episode, right? You didn't put an episode number, so people might be clicking on this. They don't realize it's an ongoing Let's Play series. Show clips of what happened from the last episode. I know it's more work in your editing suite. It's going to take you more time, but it's worth it, because if you are truly making this for new viewers, you want to make sure that they have that understanding of what you're talking about. So in the last episode, we beat this gym leader. I want to see the moment that that gym leader fell. I want to see your Pokemon take out their Pokemon in that last hit. And I want to see the cutscene of them crying about it. And I want to see you getting the badge and celebrating. Like, all of that is B-roll that you can use in this intro. And it makes things keep moving too. It means you can take extra time to explain what happened in the previous episode without having people click off, because it feels like, well, maybe I should just go watch that then. It sounds like stuff happened in that episode, but nothing's happened yet in this video. So I'm not saying people are that cold and cynical, but it does cross your mind. Maybe I should click off the video now because it's just kind of like lingering on, and now I'm being asked to subscribe, and all the YouTube tropes kind of in that first 30 seconds.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of it. You know, the other one that bugs me is when people say, like, comment, and subscribe. Why? Why should I do that? Like, that to me is the most annoying thing. It's just like, listen, man, don't do that. If you want me to comment, ask me a question. You know what I mean? If you want me to like it, give me something to like. You know, don't tell me to like it. Give me something. Give me a reason to like it, right? Deliver on something. So, but yeah, that's our soapbox about calls to action.
Yeah. So those are our tips for your video quality itself. There's definitely probably more we can say considering how long it is. There's probably a lot here. I'm going to say that it might be helpful to edit a little bit more. I saw someone in chat, I glanced over a little bit. Someone said that this is actually like what you would expect from like a Pokemon Nuzlocke video, which is like a type of way to play Pokemon. And that's fine. Like, maybe this is up to those standards, but I would say the views you're getting for the amount of video you're posting here, like, this is still a lot of work, even with minimal edits. I think I would want to shorten it up a little bit, to try to tighten up that video to see if you can get more new people to watch. Like, work your way up to 30-minute videos. Like, you know, maybe it's a sense of like, if you can make a 10-minute video, more people are willing to give it that chance, you know, and get to know who you are. Maybe they're willing to stick with you for a 30-minute video. 30 minutes, though, for a Let's Play, I don't care who it is, what it is. That's a long time. At that point, I would rather watch a live stream. Not going to lie. But I'm a very particular type of viewer. So you can't just listen to me say that and go, well, that's how everyone feels. It's not. That's how I feel. So that's obviously going to be my advice, but not everyone agrees.
That's fair. You can also timestamp it, especially longer videos. You could also drop some timestamps in there if there are significant moments that things happened in the video. You can drop those in. You can, actually timestamp it by putting that in the description. You can also throw that in as a pinned comment, and that just helps with the viewer experience. You know, if there's a specific portion that they want to get to, whatever it might be, it can also help. So just something to think about, especially on longer videos.
Yeah. So those are our tips for you for specifically the way your videos are edited. Now, I want to zoom out on this channel in particular. for one reason. I noticed you kind of are doing a variety here. You're playing different games like Harry Potter games and Pokemon games. It looks like Pokemon's kind of you're always going back to it. It seems like this is like the thing you enjoy doing the most. So what I wanted to know is, why did you choose Pokemon X and Y, that generation of Pokemon game? It's about 10 years old now, maybe 7. I don't know. It's older. And we just got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, it just came out like this week or last week. So I'm wondering why you aren't playing that. And I know that there's probably more mods and things available to you on X and Y's generation. But if it were me, I would have been planning around the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to play it day one, as soon as it comes out. And I already know of creators who are doing, because I'm playing the game myself, I know of creators who are doing Nuzlocke challenges with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And they're getting views. It's working for them. So I think that would have been a good strategy here. I maybe, like, I've seen Pokemon fans kind of torn on it because it's a lot different than this version of the game was. But if you're going to be a channel about Pokemon, I think that's you kind of have to ride that wave, right? That's just part of the deal that is YouTube. You did do like a reaction video 5 months ago to the trailer. And maybe in this video you reveal that you hate it. You're just like, I'm not going to play this game. I just absolutely hate it. It's so glitchy. It's a fun game. I have it. I've been enjoying it, but it's so glitchy. And I think you could have, at the very least, made some hate videos about it. You could have gotten the game and taken all the glitches that you saw and made all these videos about them. I think even if you didn't like the game, you could make the content work on your channel. And following trends, not just in gaming, but in any case, is how channels grow. It's how channels help get themselves discovered. So that's why I wanted to bring this up for this particular channel. Your problem right now is this right here. When I type in the word Pokemon, the first and the only videos surfacing right now are Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is the content that this is the content that YouTube is recycling. When I say recycling, I mean the search term Pokemon is surfacing videos from 3 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago. It's really, really hard to compete with these channels, even if you're playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But I have to imagine it's even harder to compete if you're going to play older versions of the game. So I know that represents a huge difference in the type of content you'd be making, but seeing your view counts and seeing that you're posting on vidIQ and wondering how to grow your channel, I have to imagine you're looking for some tough advice. And I'm going to say that's the biggest thing I'm seeing holding your channel back, is you're not following the trends.
Yep, I agree.
So there you go. I think, by the way, before we move on, I think older Pokemon games are a great thing to do in between major releases, because I've seen people do that. They'll play through Scarlet and Violet, and once the trend dies down, you can try to do a classic challenge for like a classic Pokemon game. But I think that's when you do it. You do it in between times. You don't do it when there's like a brand new Pokemon game right now that everyone's just thirsty for.
Yeah.
Say what you want about it. I'm addicted to it. I've been really enjoying myself in that game. All right, so we're going to look at, what are we at? Oh, we're at an hour. We're at over an hour. Okay, we're going to look at more channels here in just a second. I want to take some of these super chat questions. They've stacked up. Thank you so much for your super chats. They do not buy channel reviews or anything like that, but we do appreciate them and want to answer any questions.
I need to make a banner that scrolls along the bottom that says that.
Is there a lot of confusion about that?
Well, I mean, just to try to see if we can maybe avoid it in the future. So.
Oh, because I could just put one right now.
Yeah, they're easy enough to make.
Super chats do not equal video reviews. There we go. Add banner. Oh, I didn't make it a scrolling banner. Well, never mind.
Live and learn, Dan. Live and learn.
Short Pup Productions, thank you for your super chat. Zethrom Gaming says, how can I pull in more higher click-through rate and get more views? That is all about your title and your thumbnail. That's about what you package your video in. If you ever hear us talk about packaging, we're talking about the package you put your video in, title and thumbnail. So it's we talk about it even in this stream where we review videos. We talk about it every single day. So yeah, better titles and thumbnails.
Yep, that's what it is.
Short Pup with another super chat here. I don't know what they're asking here. Dan, should I do the Sprite and banana thing? I don't know what that is. I'm asking you, so if it goes wrong, I can hold you personally accountable. then no. Is
Yeah,
your
definitely
answer.
not.
I don't know what that is, and you should not do it. You should not do strange things with household objects that other influencers are doing.
Yep. Never.
Don't be the Tide Pod person. Let's just say that. Did we not learn our lesson? The videos I like to make take a lot of time and resources, and I can't really do it often because of it, because they take time and resources. Should I focus on shorts and live streams and make long form content out of those first? What do you think here, Jeff?
So I get that, because if it's difficult content to make, depending on what it is, but sometimes there is, like, animation channels, sometimes there are builds, sometimes there's woodworking projects, stuff that does take time to do. I totally understand. So if that's the case, then you need to let them take as much time as they need to take. If you can't handle, once per week, twice, once every 2 weeks, or twice per month, or one time per month, whatever it is, it has to be at the pace that works for you as a creator. If you want to add more value or add more content, then yeah, shorts can work for you in that sense, if you can make them work. Live streams are super, super helpful. But for both, go into it with a game plan. Don't just try to wing it. Actually go into things with a game plan. Whether it's shorts, whether it's live streams, whatever it is, plan it out. Treat your live streams like videos. Get a title, get a thumbnail, and give people a reason to click on it before you go live. So, but think of it that way. But it can help if it makes it easier for you, whether it's a Q&A stream, whatever it might be, but have a game plan. That's the key to making it work.
I'm going to show you a channel that I think has a really good model for this. It's going to be a gaming channel, but I think anyone can kind of mimic this strategy. So this is Josh Strife Hayes. And you probably heard of him. He's a very popular Twitch streamer, maybe now YouTube streamer these days. And Josh makes really, really, really in-depth videos about MMORPGs. And so the latest video is from 2 weeks ago. It's Why Play Fresh Starts. And it's about playing MMORPGs that start fresh. Like some servers tend to okay, we're going to roll it back to the beginning and let players jump in. And it's a 20-minute video. A lot of times they're 20, 15-minute videos, and they go really in depth. They're kind of like video essays about these topics. And the reason I'm pulling this up is because if you watch them, the amount of time and resources it takes to make these is, you can just tell, a lot of work goes into these. There are shots of him sitting just in his room talking, and there's B-roll of the games, and sometimes there's interviews. He interviews other creators. So these videos presumably take weeks to make. So what Josh does in the meantime is he streams. He doesn't even stream that often. And he actually has multiple channels. He's got, let's see, these are his channels. He's got his main channel we're on now. He's got Josh Strife Plays. He's got Josh Strife Replays. He's got Josh Strife Says. So this is like a clips channel from live streams. This is like the Twitch replays re-uploaded to YouTube. I don't even know what this one is. So Josh has created this like ultimate content ecosystem. And it all kind of focuses around live streaming. But in the background, he will release these videos, and they have nothing to do with live streams, except one thing. He tends to use footage. I'm assuming this. It looks like he's doing this, but it's what I would do. He tends to use footage of the game that I think he captured during live streams of that game. So his live streams tie into the rest of the content he's doing. He's playing these MMOs anyway. So he's going to prepare to make videos like this by streaming the MMO he's going to talk about later in the week, right? And then he gets footage from that. So he's kind of working on these videos while working on live streams, which is, if he's doing it that way, genius, So I just wanted to show off this channel, very popular, and the prime example of how to create a content ecosystem on YouTube. And I think that's what you're kind of asking us here. It's like, how should I approach this? My long form videos take a long time to make. You can do that. You can post a video once a month, or two times a month if you want, and grow a channel while also doing other stuff in the meantime. So I just want to show that. All right, cool. I don't know if Jeff had anything to add there. We got some more super chat questions here. This one is from Extravengers. They said, please advice, need help. Thank you for the super chat. Would love to do that. You didn't really ask a question though, so keep watching the stream, take some notes.
Yeah, you gotta ask questions to get answers, my guy. So
Tony Long says, thanks for the lives. I'm constantly looking at my analytics, and I have a pretty good retention rate, 35 to 65%, but not getting a lot of new subscribers. Great retention rate there. I'd be very happy with that, especially when it gets closer to the 60s. Not a lot of new subscribers. Jeff, sounds like the advice we gave a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and it also depends on the type of content. Because you see, we don't have enough context here, right? If we're talking about evergreen type of content where they're doing tutorials, the people learn the thing, you get great retention, good click-through rate, but they learn the thing and they're out. Why would they subscribe? So it depends on the kind of content. So it's not always, having great retention isn't always going to automatically turn into subs. So what we talked about earlier, where you can do a call to action really quick and ask, because that's one of the things where I've seen it work in a sense when done correctly. Even if you do it slick, if you make it funny, whatever it is, if you give people value, then they will subscribe. Sometimes you have to remind them, and that's fine. Done correctly, done at the right time, not at the very beginning, not at the very end, somewhere in the middle, and make it quick. And that's really what it comes down to. That can help. I've seen a numerical difference when I do ask to when I don't ask. So I know it works. I don't always use it, but I know it works. So that's something that you can definitely try for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, the advice we gave earlier about this too was just, are you attracting enough new and returning viewers to your content? So yeah, if you are doing like these tutorials and stuff, you will attract a lot of new people and they won't have a reason to subscribe. So we don't know. We're not looking at the channel right now, but maybe it'll come up randomly and we'll get a little more context. But thank you for your super chat there. Tish in Tennessee asks, can you or would you list a link to the audio balancing you mentioned on Amazon? The audio balancing we mentioned on Amazon.
I'm not sure what they're talking about there. What I mentioned about Amazon was an actual microphone. All right, I don't know what you mean by audio balancing though, Tish. So, and this is Tish in Tennessee, not Tish who works for vidIQ. So, yeah. But the mic that I was talking about to help with audio was the Boya mic. I don't have a link, but all you have to do is go to Amazon, type in BOYA mic, and you'll see that they have a microphone that's under $25.
Mm-hmm. There you go. We have, let's see, Old Head Chips. Thank you for the super. 2K/real basketball edits.
Old Head Clips.
Oh, what did I say?
Old Head Chips. It's all good, man. It's all, we look at a lot of channels. No worries, Dan. But yeah, 2K/real basketball edits. Should I use both forms? I think they were trying to figure out how to submit their channel correctly. 2K is gaming, but they also have real basketball edits. So they're sort of a half and half. I don't know. What do you think? What would that fall under? Would that fall under gaming or non-gaming? Either or, I guess, right? Technically.
I would be leaning on what I do more of. But yeah. I'm telling you right now, if that channel were to pop up, the thing you would hear me say is this should be two separate channels.
Totally.
You would be so mad because that's what I'm going to tell you. I would not focus on your videos at all. I'd be like, why is this on the same channel? My argument is that people who like basketball, the actual sport, not the video game, there's not as much overlap there as you may think as for people who like the video game, the 2K series. So I think if you're going to do edits of these things, it should be a separate channel. Now, if you're trying to intermix moments from a real basketball game with a video game, that's different. I don't even know how I'd pitch those videos. Maybe there's an audience for that. But if you're sometimes you're doing edits of gameplay and sometimes you're doing edits of IRL basketball, that's two separate channels to me. But it kind of depends on what you're doing. I'd be really asking myself the focus. I'd be asking myself who else is doing this? Who can I model this channel after? Who's kind of set the path for me to walk down? So I'm not kind of reinventing the wheel. But yeah, it just depends on how you're doing it. We're not seeing the channel. But it's a good question. Whatever you have more of would be my general advice. But just watch out, because when I see an opportunity, that's going to be the advice I'm going to jump to.
For sure. No, I agree. I would have said the same exact thing.
So we have another here from Dweeby, another super chat. Thank you so much. I think this is a good question. What color shirt is best for a thumbnail click-through rate? I'm going to pick on you real quick, Jeff. So Jeff is wearing a black shirt. You have a black chair and a dark background. So none of this. Is that fair to say? That's
correct.
You want high contrast, basically. So today I chose a red shirt because I have my black chair, and then I put some lights on my background, which are getting washed out right now. But, I try to just have a lot of contrast. So I just want me to be separate from the chair, separate from the background.
Yeah, for streams, the reason I wear dark, and like you won't see me wearing colored shirts anymore, was because when I used to use my camera on auto, when I would wear a colored shirt, it would make my skin tone go crazy. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. But when I wore black shirts, it didn't have that problem. So I was like, black shirts it is, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been rocking with the longest time until I realized that I should have been using manual settings. And shout out to my camera aficionado creator friends who like, hey, manual mode, adjust your settings. You can literally wear whatever you want to wear. And I'm just like, what the heck? But it would always make my skin tone look really funky. So that's the reason I wear black all the time. Now all my shirts are blacks. So it's like, oh, it's too late. I'm in for a penny, in for a pound at this point.
I threw out all my colorful shirts, so now I'm done.
Literally.
So I know you said thumbnails. It's the same principle though. Like you want to pop off the background. So that's what and there are tools out there that'll show you like the best contrasting like colors, you know, to use. Like understand the color wheel. It sounds kind of basic, but that actually helps you. So yeah. And then also asking another question here is Dweeby. Creators like Dream and Tommy Innit ask for subscribers in the beginning of their videos. Is that okay for attention? Mr. Beast does not do this. It's kind of up to them, right? Like I haven't watched any of their content in a very long time. I would assume that the way they're doing it is not lingering. They're not sitting there and telling you, hey, you should subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Knowing them and their energy, they probably make it really fun. They probably really like sell that at the beginning. Mr. Beast puts it at the very end. He likes to tease something. He likes to tease a reason to subscribe, and he likes to do it either in the middle or the end of his videos. There is no one way to do this. You know, it's all about just kind of feeling what works. Sometimes if you can find a funny way to ask people to subscribe in your intro, then yeah, do it in your intro. But a lot of times we just kind of see the same mistakes over and over again. So we've developed this very general advice, right, Jeff? Like we just kind of say like, you're asking for subs. And really what we're trying to do, I'm going to tell you a secret right now. We're trying to trick you into just not worrying about subscribers. You can ask for them in the future, but what we'd really like to see everybody here do is just don't worry about them. You ask for them or don't. Provide value in your videos when you do, but subscribers are not going to change much for you. They help you get to that monetization goal, but if you stop worrying about subscribers and worry about quality content, you're going to hit that goal so much faster than if you just drive your ship straight to that 1,000 subscriber marker. You know, you've got to focus on like the bigger picture. What are you doing? You're making content for people to watch. And why are they watching it? To get valuable information, to get education, to laugh, to learn something. That focus on the people. Don't focus on a number going up. It's difficult to do. I still watch my sub count all the time. So it's easier said than done. But that's really what we're trying to do, is get you out of the mindset where you're asking for subscribers for the sake of growing with subscribers.
Yeah. And this is why you see so many channels reach 1,000 subs and then they're like, now what? Now what? I see that so freaking often. And I'm like, that's because you spent so much time being so focused on this one thing where you should have been focused on is improving your video content and getting better views on your channel. That's really what it comes down to. Views are the most important metric by far. By far. Subs are a vanity metric that unlocks certain perks. I get it. But trust me, I wish that this is the thing that I would have not focused on when I got started, because it caused me mental health issues.
Yep.
When I was getting to that first 1,000 subscribers, it caused me a lot of stress, and it's not necessary. It's completely unnecessary now when I look back at it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things where if we can impart any information to you, if you take one thing away from the stream, everybody who's watching, all the lurkers, is to stop focusing on gaining subscribers and start focusing on how you can improve your videos, how you can make videos that people actually want to watch, that'll get you views, that's going to put you in front of people who can potentially subscribe. So let's not put the cart before the horse.
We have a whole bunch more super chats that have come in, different questions, some really good questions. I want to get to those, but we do have some more channels we want to review first. So we'll get to those in a few minutes. All right. So I've already updated the claw. We're going to do a non-gaming channel. It's $3.49. And it's going to be Adventure Quencher. I like that name. They have nothing to say about their channel at this time, so let's just check out one of their latest videos and see what we can offer. 1.2K subscribers. It's great.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Some pretty decent, consistent views here. About 350, 370. It's great.
Good morning, everyone. Again, I was going to stay another day, and I just can't do it. It's 10 o'clock. Won't get us to the trail probably till 1. I got to stop in Ottawa at the outfitter anyway. on the way. I got to pick up a couple of plates, just really lightweight little plates. I don't have anything to bring. I was going to bring a couple of paper plates and then just burn them in the fire, but it's so wasteful.
So we're 30 seconds in. I don't have a problem with like these types of videos where people are going to kind of take you on like an adventure leading up to the hiking part, right? Like in this case, it's hiking. So we know it's a hiking video. That's what we clicked on. And I don't mind the storytelling of like, you know, so what we're going to do today is this, this, and this. In this particular case, I kind of feel like the video just started in the middle. And I'm not quite understanding what, you know, I missed something. Something's happening and I missed it. And I think the reason I'm saying that is because I am like one of your new viewers. So I'm not really familiar with your style of making videos. And that's what we're trying to help you do, right? Get a lot more new viewers, people like me, to watch your content.
Yeah.
And the video we clicked on is Hiking the Highlands Trail, Amazing Trekking Paths You Must Experience, which I like as a title. And I think the thumbnails you're doing, I don't know if I would use text in the way you're using it, but the pictures you're choosing are really nice. And again, you are getting some views. We saw some very consistent views. I think for me, I'm looking at a 30-minute video, and I didn't really get an introduction. I know we said to not really do introductions, but you also don't want to take that too far in the other direction where you start your story kind of in the middle.
Yeah, you still need a hook.
Yeah.
You still need something to like, so yeah, we don't like to do like super long drawn out intros. For this type of content, a hook is absolutely crucial to getting people to stay for such a long video, right? So there's a channel that I watch, and this is not even a niche that I normally watch, but the channel's name is, her name is Ava Zubek, and adventurer, solo traveler, hiking, a lot of different things like that, mostly vlogs. I don't even watch vlog content, but her hooks are so good because in the first 30 seconds, you're getting a bunch of B-roll. She's doing a voiceover. You're getting a bunch of B-roll of the stuff that you want to see. It's confirming the click. She's showing you kind of what are those things that she's going to do while she kind of gives you this intro to let you know what's kind of going on.
Who is this?
So what's that?
Who is this?
The channel, the name is Eva, EVA space ZU space BECK.
Here we go. So
this is the channel right here.
So let's watch one of these since it's kind of a similar. Oh, did they really quit, or is it?
No.
It's a similar style, right? We're talking about hiking and outdoors. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna watch this video for the channel we're reviewing, right? We want them in particular to like pay attention to how this kind of goes.
Right.
I used to think that this was a story about quitting.
I feel like my legs could do it, but the rest of my body is like screaming at me to stop.
Now I know it's really about something much bigger. This is the Wonderland Trail. Over the course of 95 miles and 25,000 feet elevation gain, it winds its way around Mount Rainier in Washington, one of the tallest mountains in the US.
Let's see how it goes. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm just like, I just gotta go the distance.
To put it simply, it's not a walk in the...
So that's the first 30 seconds of this video. And I feel like I just tuned into the Discovery Channel. I'm like blown away by the quality.
Yeah. It's what we're talking about here is the difference between an intro and a hook, right? And you notice how it's a voiceover with B-roll interspersed with her actually talking to the camera, but continues with the B-roll and kind of doing the voiceover thing. So that's how you're getting somebody to hook. So that's one of the things where I hope that the channel we're looking at, which I believe it was the Adventure Quencher, if I remember correctly, I would hope to take some of that because obviously they're doing a hike. They're doing that stuff, right? So show me some of that while you're doing this hook in the very beginning. Show me some of that, as opposed to us just staring at you the entire time and you're kind of about this and this and that. Cool. We got to tighten that up a little bit, edit it a little bit better, but also give me a reason like to stay, right? Because if it's the amazing trekking paths that you must experience, show me that. Show me, B-roll of you doing that while you're giving me this hook and intro. So just something to think about that I think that can be seriously improved by taking some of the stuff that's working for some of the bigger channels in your niche at getting people to actually stay. So not saying that what you're doing isn't working, but it's something that I think could help you take this a little bit further.
Yeah. And I don't want to show Adventure Quencher these other million subscriber channels and try and say like, this is where you need to be. Like, we're not trying to hold you to a standard that is probably big budget, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it looks like they got animations going on. There's like a lot of moving parts to that. And once you get 1 million subscribers, maybe you can afford to like hire that extra help if you want it. We're just saying that you could tell a story in a more engaging way, and that's why we want you to watch these other examples, to just kind of learn like the differences between the way you're telling a story now and the way you could be telling a story. And you want to fall somewhere between in terms of quality, of course. Like we want to encourage you to get better quality, but we understand that that's not going to happen overnight. You have a lot to like work up to. So yeah, we didn't show you that to intimidate you. It's all about just, okay, making those incremental improvements. So in the case of this video, the story you're telling is in there. Like, you obviously have plans. There's things going on. You're talking about like I was going to get these plates, but that would be really wasteful. But you're talking about things that you never introduced us to. Like, what are the paper plates for? I don't understand what's going on. So a story is being told here, but it's not being told at the same time. So it's all about like really drawing us into that story and making us understand why things are happening, why we should care about it. And, it's a lot. Storytelling is like that next level thing. We can tell you to improve your titles and thumbnails all we want. And the next element to work on will then be like the storytelling of your content, and it will not happen overnight, and we cannot do it for you. It's something you just have to learn on your own.
Yeah, you really always have to remember and keep this in mind. And this is not just for Adventure Quencher, but this is for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
This is for all of us in the chat, lurkers, everyone. Talk to the viewers as if it's their first time there.
Yep.
Don't put the weight or the burden of in the last video, or talk to them like, you've been talking to them forever. Like, I can guarantee you that most of us, 80% or greater of the viewers of any of our videos, are people that have never watched a single one of our videos before.
Yep.
So keep that in your mind when you're shooting these videos. You're talking to the person who's never met you before. Treat it that way. Now, if in the middle of the video you want to address your longtime subscribers and your hardcore audience, feel free to do so. But in these videos, talk to people like it's their first time there.
All right. So there you go. Thank you for submitting your channel. We do hope that was helpful. And we'll move on to the next gaming channel via the Claw. We'll have the Claw pick. I can't do it. The Claw will do it. The Claw tells me what to do.
That's right. The Claw rules all.
132. I couldn't possibly pick these numbers myself, so I really do need it. I need help. Joey Gundy, I think I'm saying that right.
I think so.
160, 1.6K subscribers. Sorry. And looks like a Fortnite channel, I think. Fortnite Zero build. Let's check out your latest video. So we got some, what I assume is maybe copyright safe music. I'm not really sure.
Oh, I'm hurt. That was all good, man. 2 gravel guns up here. Wow.
All right, so we're almost 30 seconds in. So there was what I assumed that with the music part, there was like that hook of something kind of like epic happening. And then we got into the actual video, like it kind of transitioned a little bit, and you're falling, into the tree here that you're in now. This is another example where I feel like we didn't get the context we should have gotten. We saw you really focused, and we heard some music, and it made me feel like, oh, this creator doesn't talk, which is weird. They're on camera, but they're not addressing the audience at all. You didn't even seem like you were reacting to what was happening on screen, which is also a bit confusing. Once you did start talking, once the video did actually start, there was a mystery voice there, like there was someone else you were talking to. So you're playing this like with friends, and I'm not really getting the click paying off either. The title says this duo is unstoppable in Fortnite Zero Build Trios. So I still haven't like gotten a good understanding of who the duo is,
right?
Why they're unstoppable, what I'm gonna learn. I think title wise, it's not a bad title. It's just, maybe the video's oversold a little bit because I'm not getting a lot of confidence that my click is paying off.
Yeah, and that's the thing where we kind of are leaving it blank. And this is something that they can definitely learn, Joey, if that's your name, that Joey can take into account. You know, it could be a portion where even if they're not going to talk, let's say they're just sitting there staring at the screen, they got music going. This is a part where you can legit voice over a section explaining what it is that's going on to give us a little bit of context. Even if you want to keep it upbeat, you can do it in the stream. If you're going to use this as a clip for later, if you want to do that. I know people that do that. I do that myself. I literally do that. I will legit record a video in the middle of a stream in front of a live audience. Yeah. So it's not something you can do overnight, but it takes practice. You can get better at it. But a little bit of voiceover can definitely help, because I was a little confused. I was just a little bit confused. Like, okay, is this a highlight reel showing us like cool stuff that's going to happen before they get into the video? But then it just kind of seemed to transition into the video. But it's like we're just kind of thrown in the middle of something and we don't really have too much context. So that's something where they can kind of make that minor tweak that can definitely help keep people watching.
Yeah, that's what was missing for sure. That click from your new viewers. It feels like this was filmed for somebody else. You were obviously like doing a live stream or something, or just doing a gaming session with your friends. And I didn't feel like the person who clicked on this long form video, I didn't feel like I was being welcomed into this experience. It just feels like it was made for someone else at a different time. So I would definitely be looking to that as my biggest improvement. If you're going to play with someone else, that's fine too, but you should find a fun way to introduce them. They don't even need to necessarily say, oh, well, yeah, and I'm Bob and I have this other channel or any of that. You could literally just put some text on the screen, like when they talk, and be like, that's Bob, you know, and then maybe their channel link or something if you're collabing with them. So there's like different ways to do it. And you just want to give people that validation. Like maybe I'm going to see a duo that is unstoppable later in the video, but you have to give me that somewhere. Like, so if you already know what's going to happen, that's when you film a separate part of the video for the intro. And you're like, you will not believe that, you know, this Fortnite duo that we came across, or maybe you are in the duo. Like you won't believe when you get the right duo in place, what you can achieve in Fortnite. Check this out. And then transition and we're back into the game. And you know what I mean? And I think as the creator, this is where we talk about something that takes a lot of practice, turning your personality up to 11, whatever that means for you. I'm not saying be fake. I'm just saying be the most excited version of you that there is, you know, just be yourself, but understand that, hey, I'm entertaining an audience right now. So I need to turn on a little bit. I need to be like upbeat, and I don't always talk this loud. Okay. Like when I'm doing this, my throat literally hurts right now because I have that habit of just cranking me up, and I talk louder and I move my hands around. This is not how I act off camera. Am I being myself? Yes. Because this is what I am like when I turn it up. So that's what I need to see. And also lighting. I think just face cam wise, it's really dark. I would also be working on my lighting.
Yeah, and it takes time to develop that. Just to be clear, like for Dan, like I went through phases. Like I could bring up a bunch of different videos from the last 6 years where you can see how I went through phases of, you need more energy. Okay, I turn it up. Whoa, dial it back there, son. So, you know, I went through all these different phases, and that takes time to find your voice. Finding your voice takes time. This is one of the reasons why a lot of the YouTube coaches out there say you need to put out like 50 to 100 videos, because that's how long it takes for you to actually find your voice. Like, why do I sound like this on camera? It ain't because of the mic. That helps, but it ain't because of the mic. It's because of practice. Mm-hmm. So that definitely helps, and it takes a little bit of time to develop that. But I 100% agree with Dan that getting to that level is going to help. Video quality wise, for sure. You know, lighting, you can do lighting very, very, very inexpensively. Elgato makes it super easy if you want to roll with their key lights. Definitely helps for streamers. But that's just one way you can sort of improve the visual quality, at least for what we see of you on camera.
Yeah. What's interesting too is they have themselves in their thumbnail, and I would say this lighting on you here is perfect.
Yeah, what the heck?
Like, this is great. So I know you're capable. I know you got this. But for your actual stream that you're doing, it looks like you have the ceiling light on in the office that you're in, and there's the only light we're getting on your face is your monitor, and that's that. You know, sometimes you're well lit and sometimes you're not in that case. So that's just another nitpick if you're gonna put face cam in there. And then if you're gonna edit videos with face cam, you have a really unique opportunity to have something to cut to sometimes. So if your video, you know, if you want to add a little more of a dynamic feel to your video, when you have a big reaction to something, blow the camera up, make you come up almost full screen reacting to that headshot you know,
Yes.
reacting to the death that you just experienced. Like, you know, that makes videos like this so fun to watch.
Yeah, it makes it pop, man. You'll see a lot of the other bigger channels doing that. Like, if you have a reaction, you're like, oh my God. When you do that, don't just have that little tiny box of you, blow that up. You know what I mean? People connect with humans at that level, so make it expressive.
Yeah. So those are our tips for you. And thank you for submitting your channel. We're backed up on super chats, so I want to get to some more of these before we get to our next channel.
Sure.
Yeah. So Fantax Racing, would you recommend a smaller channel translating their content? If so, verbal or subtitles?
Ooh, so that's a money call right there, because that is not cheap. So here's a fun fact. What I do recommend is always getting captions, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that I pay for. I'll pay for captions in English. The beauty of it is once you upload that caption file in English into your into YouTube, people can use auto translate and it becomes way more accurate. Like shockingly more accurate. So that's one of the things where people are like, hey, I need your videos in Spanish. I need your translation. What's up with these subtitles? Any Spanish subtitles? I'm like, bro, I have subtitles. Use auto translate. And they're like, oh crap, this is actually really good. It makes sense. Yeah, because YouTube, when they do their automatic captioning, half the time it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So if you create your own caption file, you upload it, auto translate works 99.9% better. So that's something I would definitely do. Verbal, if you can afford it, cool.
Yeah.
But if you can't, then just don't. It's not going to make that big of a difference to justify the expense of doing it.
Verbal is a big effort. We actually get ours done for our Spanish channel, and it's a cost to the company. It is definitely. I mean,
so good though.
It's so good. It's a benefit too, but like it actually, it's a service that costs us money. It's not like something that's cheap at all. No. Mr. Beast uses them as well, and he only just started. If that gives you any indication of the level that creators, are at before they actually pursue actual like dubbed content, that's where they're at. So I would say for that, no, smaller channel, unless you know of some service that we don't know about that dubs content for
probably robot voice would be,
and that would be miserable. I think a miserable viewing experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't want to insult my Latino viewers, with doing that. Even though I'm not doing it myself in my own voice in Spanish, I would pay someone like to have a nice suave, Spanish voice the way that vidIQ channel is doing. It's worth the money because it's so good.
Yeah. So Rob and I are on the Spanish channel, but we are dubbed over, and it's a much better way for the viewers to experience the content, but it's real people doing the work. And then, so I that's all I was going to say there. The great tip on the auto translate thing. Did not know that. That's pretty cool. Maybe YouTube should promote that a little bit more.
Yeah, dude, totally. They totally leave people in the dry on that. And the auto translate is on videos for free. It's built into YouTube. It's just you feeding that file into it that makes it much more accurate.
Mm-hmm. Dweeby asks, does asking for likes do anything for a video? Meaning, will YouTube push it into new viewers' recommendation page? What's the point of asking for likes? A lot of people ask for likes. I've heard the advice, and I kind of agree with it, that if you're going to ask for anything, you're probably better off asking for a like. It's just a good indicator to YouTube. I have a theory, Jeff, and I don't know if this is a theory that makes me sound like a Looney Tune or if it's something that I believe because a lot of people believe it, but I have a theory that the like button matters more when someone clicks it who doesn't normally ever click a like button anywhere on YouTube. I think my like currency is particularly valuable on my account because I barely use the like button. So if someone can get me to push the like button, it's a really strong indicator of, A, this video must be amazing if Dan likes it. And or B, wow, Dan really likes this type of video. And so I'm going to make sure I send him more of that.
Yeah, and I think it goes into part of the aggregate of data that YouTube uses for the recommendation engine. Because what I've been doing now for the past year and a half, 2 years is not subscribing to channels. Watching the videos, if I like it, I hit like. And then if I watch another one of the videos and I like that one too, I hit like. And then seeing what happens, right? Getting them into my watch history, hitting like on their videos. Now, not only am I seeing more of their video, I'm seeing more of that topic from other creators that I've never seen before. That's what I like to see, because YouTube's like, hey, he liked this video about, let's say a certain type of music or a certain singer or a certain type of reaction video, or whatever it might be. Then it's going to feed me more of that topic, not just from that creator, but from other creators talking about the same topic. So I believe it's a part of it. So it's a good idea to do it, assuming that they do like it. It's a good idea to do it, but I normally don't ask. People just, if they like it, they like it. If not, they don't. I'd rather use verbal call to action for something more powerful, like telling them which video to go to next.
Yeah. Why are my impressions still low, even though I have a 20% click-through rate? Not sure if this is good or bad.
Ooh, not enough data, but I would probably say, especially with a click-through rate that high, it would depend on the views. Like if you don't have that many views, then a 20% click-through rate, it might not be much. I would be looking at your video topic. Are you talking about stuff that no one cares about? That's video research really, really comes in handy, because a lot of people tend to just make a video because they think it's going to be something that pops off, but they didn't actually do the research to see if anybody actually cares about it. So that's something where I would be focusing on that first. Secondly, if you have high click-through, but is it clickbait? Are people not being satisfied when they get into the video? So then your view duration, your retention is trash. That could be a problem too.
Yeah. If people are feeling deceived when they click, maybe you're really good at making titles and thumbnails, but it's not what they thought it was. That's going to harm your impressions, because YouTube, like, it shows your videos to 100 people and then 20 of them click. That's a 20% click-through rate. Great. And then all 20 of them who clicked leave very quickly. That's like an instant stop. Okay, I'm not putting this out there anymore, So that's what that means to us without seeing the data, without seeing your channel. You have that data, so I would dig in for sure. All right, we have another one here. My second most recent video rocketed to 7,000 plus views in 2 hours, then suddenly flatlined and began slowly going from 7,000 to 11,000 over 3 days. What happened?
That's YouTube testing. That's YouTube testing. I don't know if that's a short or not, though.
Yeah, it sounds like a short, but I've definitely seen long form videos do something similar. Same. Where they start here and then like they just fly away, and then they kind of settle down and they find a home, and they just kind of like bring in views at a more consistent rate. As to what happened, I feel like ever since YouTube Shorts became a thing, this is something that YouTube has been doing more with all kinds of videos. I don't know. YouTube will never tell us, right? So I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm not surprised anymore. This is like the way YouTube kind of works now, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes you have a video, you feel like you've replicated the strategy from that one that took off, and it doesn't do the same thing. And you're like, why? Why didn't this one also skyrocket?
Just the way it works.
It's just the way it works. Yeah, YouTube is kind of testing things. I think their AIs are still learning. And that's what's happening.
Totally. They totally still are. Yeah. They totally still. And sometimes it happens where I've had some take off and browse, but then tank under the pressure of impressions. But because my SEO might have been on point, or because it's a topic that a lot of people are searching for, I've seen a video have resurgence after like 7, 14, or 21 days via the search algorithm, not the browse algorithm. But I've also seen the opposite happen, where it'll be search heavy at first, but then it falls off, and then all of a sudden it picks up and suggested. So it's different things that are at play, but YouTube is testing things faster. So that's why we're seeing a lot of videos flatline early. But I don't give up on videos. Like, I'll just, if they fail, cool, I'm gonna let them sit. I'm not gonna delete a video or anything like that, because there's been so many times where I've seen videos where I'm like, man, that video totally tanked, man. And I come back and look at my analytics 6 months later, and this video's got 125,000 views. I'm like, a 10 out of 10, pushing 150, 160,000 views. Another one that was a 10 out of 10 has 400,000 views. I'm like, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't sweat it anymore. I just put out the videos as best I can, and I roll with the punches.
Dweeby is making it rain today. Why does PewDiePie have so many subscribers? Seriously, I understand he blew up because of his 15-minute plus Let's Play horror videos, but 100 million? How? Luck and effort reminds me of Cobby Lane.
The race versus the Indian music channel. Yeah, we had the live view counts. What were they called?
T-Series.
Yeah, T-Series. Yeah, it was the race against T-Series to see who would get to 100 million subscribers first.
Yeah.
Not saying that Felix channel isn't dope. It's a dope channel. So, you know, he's had a lot of subscribers for a long time, but even if you kind of don't understand why he blew up or why people are subscribed to him, whatever it is, it just might not be the right content for you.
It helps to have been doing this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first to do certain things, you know, and be really good at it. So there's a lot of things there. You know, ever heard of the it factor? Like when people say, "Oh, that person really is the it factor," I think that's what he learned about himself a really long time ago, and he capitalized on it. And so, you know, certain times things just kind of fall into place. But now he's not the only person who's hit 100 million, and that bar has been raised. YouTube's still a very new place too. So, I think we're just getting started. We're like, you know, these channels are impressive today. What do the channels of tomorrow look like?
Dude, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the platform continues to evolve, because I'm seeing some amazing small channels. I'm actually going to agree here really quick before we get into this one with Woodward English, where he was saying, or they were saying, is it just me or is YouTube now recommending more variety of channels, including smaller channels? Yes, they absolutely are. So when people say stuff like, oh, YouTube hates, you know, small creators, no, they don't, because I am seeing smaller channels surface to me because they're talking about topics that I'm into. So I think if anything, the recommendation engine's getting better, and it's giving a chance to smaller channels. So just like it's giving me a chance to be up against channels with 1 million subscribers. So
there is no one size fits all on YouTube. I know a channel that hit 1,000 subscribers after 1 week of posting their first video. They posted many in that week, but after their first week, 1,000 subscribers, got monetized in 10 days. So there's no YouTube hate small creators. There's a lot of strategy that goes into that, and practice, and believe me, they had a lot of practice. So, you know, there's just no one size fits all. But yeah, I've seen even more opportunities lately for newer creators. Okay, so why do my short views have a big range?
Probably why some get few views and some get big views.
Yeah. Shorts, I feel like the shorts algorithm is still kind of learning, but I also think that there's some nuance there. Certain things take off right away, right, in shorts, because the hook is really strong and the content is something people want to see. And sometimes you make something that you feel like is similar, but if you really look at it, it's not. You know, sometimes you cover a topic that's really something that anyone who passes it by is going to understand. And then sometimes you go a little more niche, and people who scroll by are like, I don't know what they're talking about there, and they keep scrolling. You know, even though it's the same channel and similar content, nothing's guaranteed. So without looking at your shorts, we couldn't really say, but I've definitely seen that happen. I've had that happen. I've felt really confident in some of my shorts and had them tank. So, and I've felt not so confident in shorts and had them blow up to the point where they're pulling in views a year later. So there's a bit of a frustration there because it's so inconsistent sometimes. But sometimes if you really look at the data, you understand why.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree, man.
Closed captions for shorts, yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But fun ones, not like YouTube captions. I mean, like ones that you superimpose on the screen that are coming up in a fun way. And like you look at some of the trends and the way people caption things, you can have fun with them. And I think they make a video a lot more engaging. A lot of people watch on silent mode. So
nice.
And then last super chat question before we get back into channels.
Good one.
What do you guys do for networking? I really find it difficult saying, hey, do you want to make a video together? It seems so difficult for me. Trust me, that's not just you.
No, it's not just you. Here's the key for collaborations, right? Is to come up with a game plan. If you're going to reach out to someone, don't put the burden of what to do and how to do it and when to upload and all. Come up with a whole game plan. So basically 99% of the time when somebody asks me for a collab and they don't have all their ducks in a row, I'm going to say no. What you need to do is have the game plan ready. You need to, when you approach me or any other creator, know what it is that you need from me. How long do you need this video to be? How soon do you need it? What is the idea? What do you need me to talk about? Right? So that's the thing. Have that game plan in place. Invite me to your channel. Invite me to your channel. Don't invite yourself to my channel. Like if you're approaching a channel with way more subscribers, invite them to your channel. So don't try to get something for free from somebody who you've never met. So if you want their perspective, whatever it is, or you respect their opinions, then invite them to your community and do it that way. So that's the thing. Have your ducks in a row. So, and there's no such thing as too small to collab. There's no such thing as that. So most of my collabs actually happened before I had 5,000 subscribers. So, but have your ducks in a row is really what it comes down to. Don't put the burden on the other person. Take the burden upon yourself to come up with a game plan and then send that to them. And that way they can be like, okay, cool. So you need a video that's in 1080p, less than 1 minute, where I'm talking about blank. Cool. When do you need it by? Make it easy for them.
Yeah, like writers in Hollywood and for Netflix and TV shows and stuff, they will like write a part with like a certain actor in mind, you know, and they'll go and pitch them first before anyone else, and be like, I wrote this because like I imagined you in this role, and that's like they're trying to pitch that actor like we want Paul Rudd, you know, we wrote this for Paul Rudd, and like that. I think that's literally how it can work on YouTube too. If you have something you want to do, I see your name is like Super Flats is like a Minecraft thing. So if you have a Minecraft thing that you want to do, don't just say like, hey, can we collab together? Like set something up, and the person you're trying to collab with, make it make sense for them. Like not for views and stuff. Make it make sense in the sense that you picked them for a reason. Like they're really good at a specific thing, and that would be perfect for your collab. Because I had a creator approach me recently, and they're setting up kind of like a contest with a few different YouTube creators, and they wanted a commitment from me. They outlined what it would be, how long it would take, and it made sense. Like after I read it, it makes sense why they were asking me. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, I get what we're doing here. And it wasn't a very long pitch, and there were more details to come. They said, if you're interested, I can get you some more details. I have a Discord server open with everybody who's going to be in it. I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I got in, and they outlined everything. Like they had separate Discord channels for all the different rules and all the resources I needed. And I'm like, perfect. I didn't have to ask a single question. I just made my part of the collab and sent it to them, and that's it. I didn't have to do anything else. So that made it easy. That made it fun. And yeah, it's a total game changer. That between that and like you just DMing me and saying, hey, can we collab? Like,
yeah, it
makes it look like I think you're a big channel, and I want some of your viewers.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone knows the game. We all know that we would like to. There's a mutual benefit there to collaborating.
Yeah, but that goes back to the mindset of I just want subs.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to that person saying, hey, can you shout me out on your channel? Like,
right.
No,
I cannot.
I love small creators, but that's not going to help you.
And then Jonathan, thank you for the super chat. If anyone super chats now at this point, we may not get to them. So if you have any questions or anything that are burning inside you might want to save them for Tuesday. Why don't we take a look at another channel here?
Let's do it.
What did we look at last time? It was the gaming channel. So let's look at a non-gaming channel. Let's look at 163.
What do we got?
I typed in 63.
Oops.
163. All right, CJ Arc. They do Blender. Okay, Blender is it's a software where you fabricate digital assets.
I was hoping we're going to get a smoothie channel.
And look at this. I love these thumbnails.
Ooh.
I love these thumbnails. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot from this channel. Seems like they know what they're doing. So making a car in 10 seconds. All right.
I'm going to make an object in Blender. One in 10 seconds, one in 1 minute, and another in 10 minutes. Let's start with the 1 second one in 3, 2, 1.
I'm a little confused because it said, let's start with the 1 second one. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's 10 seconds, though. The text on the screen told me 10 seconds.
Yeah, what the heck?
The sound effect you used, did you hear that too? Or is my smoke detector dying? Like, did you hear
No, I heard it too. Yeah, that was their smoke detector.
I think that was the beep they were using to start the timer, which was very loud and kind of distracting.
Interesting.
For this video, what's missing the most for me is a timer that's counting down, physically counting down. Even though you misspoke and said 1 second, I can forgive that. It's the fact that there's not a 10-second timer ticking down. You're trying to do a challenge, and I think that's a really cool thing. But we need that. We definitely need that. I shouldn't have to get my phone out and time you.
Yeah, for sure.
In terms of the concept here, I think this is kind of cool. Making a car in 10 seconds, 1 minute, and 10 minutes. I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice and say that you probably didn't need to make your title this long. You're doing 3 things in the video, and that's cool. You can focus on the 10-second one. You know, you can make your entire video making a car in 10 seconds in Blender. And leave it at that. I almost feel like you gave too much information in the title and thumbnail. You can even keep the thumbnail the same. I would say like 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, totally fine. But yeah, just as a tip, it's a nitpick. It really is a nitpick. You have 59 subscribers. You got over 200 views on this, so that's fantastic. I wouldn't worry about that as much as I'd worry about the timer ticking down. The other thing I would do here is
time's up.
The other thing I'd be doing here is you should talk over it. And I think you should be doing a voiceover after the fact, because it looks like what you did is you said, all right, here we go, start the timer. And then you focused in on it, right? You had to be quiet so you could like get as far as you could go in 10 seconds. I kind of worry now when we get to the 10-minute one, like how much narration have you provided for that section of the video? Do you just let the music play? Tell us your thought process. Tell us why you're doing the things you're doing. You don't necessarily need to teach Blender because you're doing challenge videos, but give us a little bit more here. Anything to add, Jeff?
No, I say one thing is the audio is a little funky for me. It sounds a little echoey, which is fine. I would just say, just like the tips that we told the channel towards the beginning, a lav mic could definitely help have your voice sound a little more robust in this to make it a more pleasant experience. But aside from that, no, what Dan's saying is on point.
All right. So yeah, those are just a bit of improvements there. I think that'll take your videos to the next level. Fantastic thumbnails. I got to say, you're doing a really strong job here with thumbnails, and just keep it up.
Titling is solid too. He's keeping it short and concise to the point. Thumbnails are on point. So I got high hopes, man. Adjust that audio and fix a little bit of that editing and the timing and the way that they're speaking. I think this can go very far because they've got some of the stuff down. Like I wish my thumbnails looked this good when I was first starting. So
yeah, this is fantastic. So well done for 6 months of progress. This is incredible. Incredible work. Cool. I did see another. Oh no, we didn't unstar that. So cool. All right. That's it. You're dismissed. We're done.
That's it.
We're vidIQ. We got plenty of tools and stuff that'll help you on your YouTube channel. It's not just a bunch of live streams and videos. We actually have products and services as well, such as our tools, which are linked down below. We have a Black Friday deal going on right now that I forgot to mention in the middle of today's stream, but you can save 50% on your first 6 months of Boost. That's all of our tools rolled into one at a discounted price for Black Friday. So use the link in the description if you're interested in that. And that's it. And we got vidIQ Max as well. That's the shirt Jeff's wearing. That's the next level. That's when you're ready to go from YouTube hobby creator to full-blown business owner. You're ready to get super serious about YouTube. Check out vidIQ Max.
Yeah, for sure. And then, don't forget, a ton of videos on the channel, ton of questions answered. There's so much information, the back catalog of videos on the channel, not even just the streams and the shorts, but the back catalog of videos and knowledge base that's in that library is shockingly insane, where I even find myself going back to get questions answered, where I could just DM Rob myself or even Dan, but I'll still watch the videos because it's like, why am I going to waste your time like that when they've already made a whole video explaining this to me? So definitely make sure you guys are checking that stuff out, and it's all free. This is what we can't stress enough, because people complain, vidIQ costs this much and that. All the free knowledge that we give, take advantage of it. So do yourselves a favor. But aside from that, also for the people who are in the States, I want to wish you a happy early Thanksgiving for those that celebrate. And for those that don't, enjoy the days off if you have them. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I second that, and that's it. I'm tired. I'm done. Stop sending me channels. Just go. Go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay in this live stream. It's done.
That's right.
Well, there's our copyright strike for the day.